line screaming like a siren at night. Red and blue shouting, nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no polish. Quiet, just a voice in the dark and a spark to the wire. This is and I'll bring the fire. Gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. Everybody's selling truth like a brand, buying opinions they don't understand. Talking in circles, screaming online. Keyboard courage, borrowed spines. Yeah, power plays dressed up as peace. Same old wolves with different teeth. But silence is loud when the house is burning. And the fuse is short, yeah, it's still learning. I don't dance for the left or the right. I stand in the heat, I stand in the fight. No strings, no chains, no manufactured choir. Just gasoline thoughts and an open lighter. This is and I'll bring the fire. Gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. The world's on tilt, pressure climbing. Truth don't whisper, it's perfect timing. You can't cancel the smoke, you can't stop flame. Say my name when it hits, say my name. Why? Say my name. Say my name. Fire don't ask permission. Fire don't need a side. Fire just shows up honest and exposes the lie. This is and I'll bring the fire. Truth it's harder. Burn it down till what's real survives. No smoke, no mirrors, just heat and lies. And I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. American fire. Strike it. Let it speak.
What's going on, everybody? Good to see you all tonight. Welcome to American Fire. I'm Ace. I'm going to take you through it tonight, guys. I'm your host. Good to see you all. Welcome to the show. Love those beautiful people out there. Man, we got something to talk about tonight. Holy smokes. What a fun day. I don't know if you guys have been following this whole Joe Kent thing. Oh, hey, was that my, there it goes. That was weird. Why was my mic not working that whole time? Anyways, what's going on? Let me try this again. What's going on, guys? Sorry, that was weird. Lost it for a second there. Anyways, gotta tell you guys that this whole Joe Kent thing is wild. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to it, but we're going to cover it in depth tonight. I'm going to show you why I think it's very, very strange. Am I still two different sources? Are you still getting me on two different sources? Dang it, my new setup. I apologize, guys. I thought that was fixed. Huge echo chamber. Well, we don't like that, do we? We don't. Hold on a second here. All right, sorry guys. This is embarrassing. Just a sec. I'm gonna fix it. Don't worry. Don't you worry. Stadium sound. That's awesome. That's awesome. You know what? I made a change today. and I thought I fixed something, and apparently I made it worse. Give me 1 sec. 1 second. I think I can undo what I did. All right. Is that better? Yeah, better. Better, worse. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I hate this is a live show, man. Sometimes the live is a problem. Okay, we're all good. All right, excellent. Okay. Wonderful. All righty. Anyways, okay. Shall we start again? Zang. All right. Joe Kent. The big story today. The end of... Am I just too loud? See, I got a whole new setup. So, gain's still up. I don't think my gain's up that much, guys. My gain's actually very low. It's just my mouth is close to it. We got a lot to talk about. Okay, so Joe Kent today betrays Trump, comes out. We're gonna go all through that. Then we got to go through this psyop, going to new levels. Gonna break all that down. Iran, everything going on with Trump. Not clear, dude. There's nothing worse than bad sound. I don't want to hear that. That sucks. That's no bueno. Better but not clear. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry about the sound tonight. Not awesome. Let me check something real quick. Because I don't want to do a whole show with bad sound. Sorry. I know this is a long show. That could be one of the worst things for you guys. I would just suck if my show had bad sound. Better but not clear. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. That is very loud. I'll just get away from the mic a little bit. Is that better? Okay. I'll step away from the mic. See, my old days and my old setup, this new PC, I had to be close to the mic, but this new PC picks up my voice much better, so I can step away a little bit. All right? Having a face about audio. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. I really do. You guys are so nice. Anyways, all right. We're going to go. I got to get started. I'm sorry. This is a ridiculously long intro. So I'll tell you what. Like, subscribe. We'll go through all of it, and then I'm going to go right up, say hey to the chat, and then we're going to get into it. So, what's up, Lochtfeld, AZ Chopik over there on Rumble. What's up, guys? Wago Waco, Numerono tonight. Cass Sync, what's up? Big B, Nick Majors, US1, Z Grooms, Kim Wiley, Daryl Valentine, Shogun's here. Alice, what's up? Obama stole his VCR. Scott Volkovich, Marcos, Uncle Andy, Vince Feliz, what's up, my brother? Gerald Kramer, Noob Investa, AK Downrange, Uncle Landy, GN358, what's up, buddy? Kim Wiley, Sacred Grove, and let's see, who else is in here? JJ Jackson, what's up? The Wall, what it do? Texas Daughter, please stop rambling. Thanks, that's so nice. Turned out, still an echo? Okay, well, further away. All right. You know, I never had this problem before, but that's okay. It's a good problem to have that my sound is so good. So I'm backing away. All right. Is that better? Ray Sandoval, Linda Goya, what's going on? Pat is here as well. All righty. Steve Barry. Okay. My sound was too loud. Now it's better. Good. All right. Let's get moving on here because I know you guys did not come here just to watch me ramble about my sound. Let's get into it, shall we? Big freaking news today. Joe Kent, big MAGA guy, or at least was, ran for office twice. Trump got him through it to be this software-based gain, cranking my audio up. Okay, so I'm going to have to fix my audio another day, guys. Sorry. But I have people now reaching out to me to help me out. Anyways. Thanks for exposing PSYOP. You're welcome, Pam. Zach Butterfield, what's up, man? So Kent today put in his he put his resignation, but he did it in a way for the whole world to see his letter. And this is what's interesting. We're going to read this because this is actually extremely important, guys, because this is, I'm watching this dupe, in my opinion, dupe people that I trust, which is crazy because it's so bad. Am I noisy again? God, you guys, you got to let me know how bad the audio is. Okay. Just be honest with me. So Joe writes this letter, which is crazy. All right. He says, after much reflection, I've decided to resign from my position as director of National Counterterrorism Center. I can't in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. It posed no imminent threat to our nation. It's clear we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. Okay. Now that's a crazy thing to say. All right. That he is, he just basically called out Trump and said Trump's controlled by Israel. This is the director of the counterterrorism unit. This guy is highly respected, especially by veterans. I think he did 11 tours in Iraq, Afghanistan, Green Beret. I mean, this is about as perfect. If you could create a MAGA symbol in a lab, this is the guy you'd want. All right. He checks all the boxes for like the military part, the part of like has at least appeared to be loyal the last 4 years. Trump put him in charge of counterterrorism. He checks all the boxes. And so for this guy to come out and call Trump owned by Israel and call out the Iran war, it's massive. And it's got the whole internet in an uproar. This is one of those things that doesn't just live on X. This one is spreading wider. It even made top Google trends today. So the regular people are Googling his name. This has got major political ramifications. This is like the big moment for the Israel Tards, the Groypers, all of them to be like, told you so. We're right. This is the win for us. We did it. We proved it to you guys. Boom. All the influencers I've been calling out, everything, they're lining up behind this. This is like, they are in for it. Okay. He reads the rest, or he writes the rest right here. It says, I support the values and the foreign policies you campaigned on in 2016, 2020, 24, which you enacted in your first term until June of 2025. That's when we bombed Iran last year. You understood the way in the Middle East, what the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America, the precious lives of our patriots, depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. And he goes on to say, in your first administration, you understood better. And then early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran, this echo chamber. My God, you could not. Oh, man. I got so much to say. I have so much to freaking say here. So, before I get into, man, I'm fired up over this. Fired up, okay? Because there is so much in here that is just word for word of what all the grifters have been saying. And listen, even if you respect Joe Kent and you agree with him on this, okay, I'm not going to convince you otherwise. You've got in your head, he's a war hero, all that, that's fine. But the grifters, we have proven, I mean, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I've presented evidence after evidence for months now, backing up why we cannot trust these people. And I honestly, I've seen so much. I don't think there's any other explanation except for they're running the craziest deep operation, double agent campaign I've ever seen. So, but here's the point. Those people we know for sure are compromised in one way, shape, or form, or grifting in one way, shape, or form. I just can't see any other way they're not. After all the time and research we've done on them and exposing them. But this guy, it's tougher, except for he literally just said what they are saying word forward. And here's some of the tells. The Iran war. What does he say? He doesn't say Iran's not a threat. He uses the word imminent threat. He qualifies it. He qualifies it because he has to. He's basically, in order to not be a full-on liar. Imminent threat, my friends, is an opinion. That's all it is. The difference between threat and imminent threat is opinion. One person's imminent threat is another person's, nah, they're good. That's all that is. So he's basically admitting his opinion is different here. That because there's no way to officially say something's imminent or not imminent. That's just a fact. So that's one of the key words right here. The other key words he says are the America First movement. Now, you notice he didn't say MAGA. What was I literally telling you guys just last night? America First is their code word. It's their code word for like, we're better than MAGA. We are the real MAGA. That's what they always use. He doesn't say MAGA in here. He doesn't say MAGA agenda, which is what Trump uses. He says America First. And there's nothing wrong with America First, by the way. We were saying it first, but I've told you guys and showed you how that's one of their codes to try to dupe people into their side. Echo chamber, that's the next one. This is what Rich Barris and all of them have been saying. Oh, it's Trump's consultants have gone bad. They're leading him astray because they can't attack Trump directly. So it has to be it has to be his consultants are bad. So that's the echo chamber. Trump no longer listens to the people. He never gets out to the people anymore. It's an echo chamber. It's his consultants. Oh my God. Trump is actually a good person because they have to say that. Otherwise, their entire audiences would leave. No, they have to act as if they're trying to rescue Donald Trump. That's the other thing we've been talking about. And by the way, if you guys have been watching this show, you should be trained to see all this stuff by now because I've been showing you nonstop. This is exactly what they say. And then the other part is where is it? Oh, it's the Israelis, okay, who are applying a misinformation campaign against you. In other words, you, my friend, you, Mr. Donald Trump, have fallen for an Israeli psyop. And you see what he's doing? He's projecting the psyop onto Donald Trump because we couldn't possibly. Now, ask yourself this, okay? Not only do I have all kinds of problems with this letter, just like it sounds like a tantrum. I can't believe some people are out there being like, this is the honorable way to go. People I respect. I'm not even going to say their names because I agree with these people on so many things and they've never shown any way of grifting or anything like that. I've never seen any warning signs from them. I legitimately think they're ex-military, so they just respect this guy so much. They're giving him the benefit of the doubt. But one guy I was listening to today was just like, dude, they were like, he was honorable in how he did this. I'm like, no, how is this honorable? You're a soldier. Your country's at war, and you just published a letter to your commander-in-chief in front of the entire world that basically says he is being psyoped. He is being controlled by another nation. How is that honorable? There's no honor in that at all. Listen, if this was about honor, if this guy legitimately just had a beef with Trump, if he truly trusted Trump, truly believed in him, he would have raised all this hell, and then he would have gone to Trump quietly and submitted his resignation, which still would have been a big news story, but this would not have come out. My friends, this is on purpose. This is being projected out there on purpose to get people to fall for the idea that Donald Trump is controlled by Israel. All of this, okay? Absolutely wild. So that's the letter itself. All right. And he writes, after much reflection, I've decided to resign. Can't in good conscience support. That's all fine. But why do you have to call your commander-in-chief basically a moron? Okay. Or basically that he's betrayed us. So wild. That's the letter itself. Okay. Now you can, again, I see it my way. Some of you might disagree. There's plenty of people out there who disagree, but Let me tell you show you the past. How about we go look at well, first of all, let's do this first. Let's look at how Trump responded. So Trump, hearing about Joe, in today's he's meeting with the Irish president, which is awesome, on St. Patrick's Day, by the way. This man just understands showmanship. But listen to what he had to say.
President, your director of national counterterrorism, Joe Kent, he just resigned today. He said he can't support your conflict with Iran. What's your reaction to that? And did you?
Well, I read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy. But when I read his statement, I realized that it's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was. The question is whether or not.
You see what Trump did right there? It was really smart. So not only does he he compliments him by saying he's a nice guy, but then he completely destroys him by saying he's weak. And not only that, he uses Joe's words, and instead of throwing in the imminent part, Trump just says, what, this guy thought Iran's not a threat? Which immediately everybody's like, yeah, that is crazy to say. As usual, Trump is the master. But how about we go look at some of what Joe Kent said in the past. In fact, Trump is sharing with us some of Joe Kent's own words with us tonight. Here's Joe Kent in 2020 to Mr. Donald Trump. This is January 8th, 2020, so 6 years ago. We should not sit and wait for the next attack. Wipe Iran's ballistic capability out and get our troops out of Iraq. They're our only targets now. Iran is our only targets now. Interesting. That's funny. He sure seemed like he was really, really right to go after Iran back then. That's interesting, Mr. Kent. Here's the actual tweet. He left it up still. We should not sit out and wait. This is January 7th. So he posted it twice, once on Truth, once here on X, which he left up. You would think, if you're gonna make a big thing about attacking Donald Trump and proving Iran's not a big deal and Trump's owned by Israel, you would think that you should go back and delete your tweets that kind of prove you wrong. You cell phone yourself. You left him up there. Maybe he wasn't smart enough to be national security counterterrorism director, was he? But that's not all. He's got some more. How about this? Joe Kent in September 25th, 2024, just a year and a half ago. Iran has been after Trump since January of 2020 after he ordered the targeted killing of the terrorist Qasem Soleimani. This isn't a new threat. Secret Service consistently failing to secure Trump is new. Figure out why these threats are happening. But Iran's been after Trump since January 2020? Well, sir, that's the leader of our country. That is one way or the other. He was either a former president or a president during this entire time, those last 6 years. Is that not a reason to go to war if Iran would assassinate this man? I would think that as Americans, I think every single person here would support going to war if a president was killed. I don't know. How about we ask the chat on this one? Because, what do I know? Should we go to war with a country if they kill our president? I don't know. You guys tell me what you think on that one. Maybe it's 50-50 out there. I don't know. I say I feel pretty strongly about that. And I'm guessing Mr. Joe Kent would too. If Iran assassinated our president, I think that's a threat. But hey, it's also not a new threat. So there's that. But that's your own words, Mr. Joe Kent. How about this one? Oh, definitely. This is in response. Trump's restraint shows he wants to deal with Iran. His red line is American loss of life or nuke development. Definitely I don't know who posted this, is deleted, but definitely I personally think we should have crushed their ballistic and nuke capabilities, but Trump has a plan. He's earned the confidence of any clear-eyed observer. Interesting. So Mr. Joe Kent, you thought we should crush their ballistic and nuke capabilities before President Trump did by about 6 years. Interesting. Why the change of heart all of a sudden? Is it because maybe it's time to go do the influencer circuit? Maybe somebody's offering you a contract. Maybe somebody has bought you off. I don't know. It's a little funny that you used to think there much before Mr. President Trump thought that. I just think that's interesting. I don't know. Call me silly. Call me stupid. But that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Here's PDB sharing it because this is going around, but saying that Iran wasn't an imminent threat and resigning because of it, but posting this in the past is wild. What am I missing? What the F is going on in the world? I don't know, PD. But yeah, we seem to have a lot of examples of Joe Kent really wanting to fight with Iran and saying we haven't been tough enough on Iran. But I don't know, kind of weird stuff, but we should keep going on. Joe Kent this is back in 2021, trying to get Nick Fuentes up there. What? Here's Joe Kent for Washington. It's liberty versus tyranny. Many are glad their political rivals are targeted by the state and big tech. They hate Trump, Nick Fuentes, and MAGA. So Fuentes in the same arena as Trump and MAGA. I don't know. That doesn't seem like this is a good judge of character. Listen, this guy, this is unbelievable what's coming out about this guy. If you're going to play a game, if you're going to play stupid games, you're going to get stupid prizes. Well, if you're going to play the political game now, in the past, you could come out with something like this. And just based on your reputation, just based on what you've said in public recently, you could have gotten away with it for days. People would have fallen for it. And the only people who might have debunked you would be maybe some independent newspapers, because who's doing all that research, right? And then very few people would have read it. It's very hard, but friends, we live in the age of X now. In the age of X, you get out there, you say something, you go after the leader of a movement, you try to perpetuate the psyop that's been going on, and you're going to get roasted if you have anything in your past. And I think Joe Kent's learning that today, as there's more. Oh, there's more. Last year, Mr. Joe Kent was part of the Signalgate chat, where the head of the Atlantic magazine, which is a very anti-Trump, hardcore liberal rag magazine, somehow got into the Signal chat with Tulsi Gabbard, J.D. Vance, so on and so forth, talking about the strikes on Iran and the strikes on the Houthis. Basically, borderline classified information that this guy, Jeffrey Tucker, was just sitting there getting. Well, the question always was, who let him in? And most people thought it was Mike Waltz, because Mike Waltz was National Security Director and National Security Advisor, and he got demoted afterwards. And Rubio stepped into his role. Mike Waltz moved on to be, I believe, an ambassador. But Joe Kent was also in that chat. It makes you wonder. Let's keep going. Here's Tulsi Gabbard, with all this going on, has responded for the first time in a while. Says, Trump was overwhelmingly elected by the American people to be our president, commander-in-chief. As commander-in-chief, he's responsible for determining what is and what is not an imminent threat. Do you hear that? Joe Kent, being a soldier, someone who's lived this life for a long time, honorable man when he served, did lots of good things, by all means a war hero, would know this, that it's not up to him to decide whether or not the threat is imminent. He is serving at the pleasure of the president. He got there because of Trump. Again, you speak these things behind the scenes, or at least wait until you've been out of the administration more than a day, more than an hour, and then go do your stuff from the outside in. But instead, the day on the way out, just blast Trump for being controlled by Israel and that there was no imminent threat. But that's not how it works. Again, imminent is a decision. It's an opinion. And ultimately, that opinion resides with the president. You respect that opinion, whether you like it or not, when you're serving your commander-in-chief. And whether or not to take action he deems necessary to protect the safety and security of our troops and people in our country. Office of Director of National Intelligence responsible for helping coordinate. So here she's telling us that this is what their job is. It's not to tell President Trump he's wrong. It's just to provide the information. It's our job to be responsible, to help coordinate and integrate all intelligence to provide the president, commander-in-chief with the best information to inform those decisions. After carefully reviewing all the information before him, not from Israelis, from their team, President Trump concluded the terrorist Islamist regime in Iran posed an imminent threat, and he took action based on that conclusion. And that's all you got to say. That's it. Tulsi lays it out. So why, Joe? Why do this? Ezra Cohen adds to this. As I've said a few times before, as a political appointee, if you disagree with the president, you have a duty to vigorously argue your point in private. This is why what he did is not honorable by any way, shape, or form, whether you agree with him or not, whether you think Trump is controlled by Israel or not, or we should be in Iran or not. What Joe Kent did today was completely dishonorable. Once the commander-in-chief makes his decision, salute and move out. If you can't execute the decision, you must resign and do so silently. Respect the weight of the president's responsibility given to him by the people. Don't undermine his ability to carry out his responsibility as CIC. This is, again, just the point I cannot get over. You know, one of the things that we've lost is, at least, and not everybody's lost it, but the idea of honor, the idea of loyalty. And loyalty it doesn't mean you agree, but it means you respect the leader you chose. You respect the person that you did life with. You respect the person who gave you your career after getting out of the military, who elevated you to one of the highest positions in national defense in the land. That deserves your loyalty, good sir. And for you to go out like this is insane. Now, it's one thing if it's like the Edward Snowden thing. It's one thing if you catch our president hurting American citizens on purpose. That's something else. That's a betrayal of the people. But this was fully in line with Trump's decision-making and what is given to him by the Constitution within his realm of powers in Article 2. You don't come out and criticize that as a soldier in a public way. There's no honor in that. And when there's no honor, friends, especially by somebody who should know better, that is a big tell. It's just like when Candace started going off on Charlie, off TPUSA and Erica Kirk less than 2 weeks after Charlie died. There is no honor in that, not the way it was handled. And as soon as you don't see honor, you know a person cannot be trusted, because somebody who will blast you in public is not somebody who can be trusted by anybody. is they'll turn on anyone or anything because it's always about them. What Joe Kent did today did nothing for the American people. Not even one thing positive can come out of this, except for it does help the podcast circuit, the influencer group, the grifters and shills. This is who it helped, and it helped him, because you better believe he's going to be riding some coattails now. Now, let's hear the other side of it. We heard Joe's side. Well, let's hear the other side of it. This reporter from Fox News, senior administration official, tells Fox Kent was a known leaker, and he was cut out of intelligence briefings months ago. Her source says the White House told Tulsi Gabbard he should be fired for suspected leaks, but she didn't do it. He has not been part of Iran planning discussions or briefings at all. Now, this part's actually been debunked since, but this part has actually been upheld. He wasn't in on the plan for Iran. He wasn't trusted anymore because they believed he was leaking. Intelligence officials tell Daily Wire it's true. Joe Kent wasn't part of the planning of the Iran war. But this is where the DNI part wasn't true, that she was supposed to fire him. They were monitoring them, though. They were worried about him, and he was no longer invited. So did he just resign to get ahead of his firing? Did he resign because he was no longer getting information to leaks? And so he was like, cool, I can hurt the president one more way. Since I can't leak anymore, since I'm not getting the information anymore, I can go out in a blaze of glory and take one final jab that now all the grifters can run with for the next few weeks. There's more. According to multiple sources, including press secretary, Joe Kent has not received classified briefings in months because they suspected he's been leaking. If he doesn't have access to information used to make the decision to commence Epic Fury, his statement doesn't hold much weight. Absolutely true. How could he know whether or not there was an imminent threat if he didn't even have, if he wasn't in on the information? By the way, right now in the poll, 98% of you say that killing the president is a big enough threat to go to war. So Joe Kent had assessed the threat of Iran and believed it was war-worthy, at least according to the logic of the crowd, which it's 98%. My guess is the military man would agree with you. This has brought out some of the heavies in the administration and our current government. Here's Mike Johnson calling him out. I'm not going to play the clip, but he says, I don't know where Kent is getting this information. He wasn't in those briefings. Had the president waited, we would have had mass casualties. Proposition at the end is clearly wrong. Listen, what matters in this statement is that now we've had the press secretary on record, Carolyn Leavitt. We've had Mike Johnson. And then we've had these other sources who we don't know who they were, but they've been corroborated by people on record that he wasn't in these meetings. I mean, this is important stuff. These guys are on record now. This isn't anonymous sources, bro. This isn't trust me, bro. This is the Speaker of the House and the press secretary who is the voice of Trump. She is. She's like the voice of Sauron in Return of the King. It's like you only come out when Trump wants to speak through you. That's what the press secretary's job is. Dan Bongino had some nice words for him, and I will play this clip because I like when Bongino gets feisty, and this is one of those worth sharing.
On a plaque in a facility I can't really talk about, and when you read the story there, it's a tough story to read. But you know, again, as I've said with other, the sacrifice is beyond reproach. That doesn't mean that this current opinion is any more fact-based, because it's not. I'm really sorry, Laura. I mean, I read probably a lot more intelligence than he did, because they don't have a law enforcement function, the National Counterterrorism Center. They're an analytical clearinghouse. They're valuable. However, I had access to just about everything. And how you could come to the conclusion that the Israelis did it and there was no imminent threat here? Really? What about the anti-ship ballistic missiles, the drone program, 440 kilograms of 60% enriched nuclear material, their constant death to America chance? I mean, that's called evidence. In some limited circles, we call that, a clue. I mean, I don't know at what point you thought this wasn't an imminent threat after you've read a lot of the stuff I read. And by the way, that's just the open source stuff we can talk about on the air. I promise you, the president, I promise you, has a bevy of material that if he could do the Men in Black thing and erase your mind tomorrow, if he told you right now, you would come to the imminent threat conclusion in a snap.
Well, a senior U.S.
So Bongino basically calling him a fraudulent, that that Bongino had seen more information than Joe had said, but also the fact that just based on what we know, based on what they can say, based on the open source intelligence, the rest of it is classified, and President Trump's seen worse stuff. So there's that as well. So, I mean, but let's get into more. I mean, I got a few more on this too, because it just gets weirder and weirder. So it's rumored Kent resigned over concerning connections with his new wife. His wife, why is it always these guys marrying these liberal chicks? Thomas Massey, same deal. His wife, Heather Kaiser, works for the Gray Zone owned by Max Blumenthal, who despises Trump. By the way, Max Blumenthal is one of the big ones who came out today just blasting all over X about how Joe Kent's such an honorable man, and it's clearly he's called out the Trump administration. This needs to be paid attention to. We need to take this very, very seriously. It's just ridiculous stuff. Why do these guys do this? I don't know. Oh, and of course, and here's, I mean, I'll let you guys do the math here. But Kent, who resigned as director of National Counterterrorism Center earlier today, is expected to record a live episode of Tucker Carlson tomorrow. You can't make this crap up, guys. You cannot make this up. He's going to be on Tucker tomorrow. You know what's also happening tomorrow? Tulsi Gabbard is speaking and doing a hearing in front of Congress. So Tulsi Gabbard's on the Hill. This guy timed it perfectly. Listen, nothing is coincidence. Tucker does his whole I'm being spied on by CIA thing last weekend. This week, Joe Kent calls out the Trump administration and then shows up on Tucker the next day. Tulsi Gabbard has to give an account of what's going on in the intelligence world. He throws her under the bus too, based on saying like Trump's getting Israeli intelligence that's throwing Tulsi under the bus. She's going to have to answer that tomorrow too. You cannot make up the timing. This is unbelievable. Jerry says next week on Candace. No, well, is he going to wait that long? Oh, Joe Kent will be speaking at the Catholics Convention, D.C., alongside Candace Owen and Carrie Prejean Bowler. You cannot make this crap up, guys. You cannot make this up. He's already scheduled. It's Joe Kent. It's just like, this is why I can't take this thing seriously. I cannot take this seriously. Because when you go from the Trump administration calling them out, saying the exact same thing the grifters say about Trump, the exact same things Nick Fuentes is saying, Dave Smith is saying, Tucker's saying, Candace is saying, Prejean here is saying, when you say the exact same things in your letter that they're saying, and then the day after you're leaving, you're showing up on their shows, you're going to their events, my friends, this is, I mean, equating Nick Fuentes to MAGA 5 years ago, you can't make this crap up. You cannot make this up. This is the tell. There is no honor in this. He's doing a tour now. He's on the circuit. I bet the money is a lot better when you're a grifter. Hey, Joe, why don't we give you your show? You can be the insider guy. You can be the guy who worked for Trump and knows that he knows because you saw it, that he works for Israel. We'll hook you up. And to get you jump started, we'll get you on Tucker. Back on Tucker, by the way. He's been on there before. We'll get you with Candace. We'll get you with all our big names. Prejean, she just took a deal. She's with us now. I mean, my God, folks. All you have to see is who they hang out with. It tells you everything, doesn't it? Unbelievable how just unashamed this man is. The audacity to leave the Trump administration and go straight into this crap. I mean, that, my friends, this is March 19th, it says in DC. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day for Mr. Joe Kent. It's the launch of his influencer career, friends. Tucker, Candace, all on the same day? The day after you resign? Yeah. Wow. Congrats, buddy. Go keep getting them checks. Couldn't leak anymore. So they found another thing for him to do. This is crazy. And then we get Bannon running to his defense. Ah, man. Oh my God. You couldn't write this script any clearer. What have we been concentrating on the last few weeks with Iran? I told you guys, Iran took them up to 11. Iran became, the city of London is trembling and they are going all out. It is all assets deployed now. Every influencer, every grifter, all assets deployed. We must stop Trump now. We must destroy MAGA now. Everybody, we're calling in everybody. I told you guys this was happening. We've been watching it. Some of you probably thought I was crazy, but then Joe Kent comes out and today you could not make this up. Tucker, Candace, and now Bannon. Joe Kent, highly revered, 11 combat tours. This is Bannon saying this. He's right here. I would play the clip, but I'm just so mad at him. I don't want to hear his voice. 11 combat tours, valor, courage, dedication are beyond question. His beloved wife died in Syrian operation, leaving him a widow of 2 young boys. By the way, Syrian operation, ISIS, how is that Israeli operation? Joe said his wife got killed by an Israeli operation, like their war. Was Obama going to Syria and fighting ISIS for Israel? I don't know about that one. Leaving him a widower or 2 young boys, dedication and country is unparalleled. The VP should have taken Joe straight to the COS and president so he could explain why he was resigning, why he drafted it. Coming from a guy like Joe, this has to be investigated. We can't kick this down the road. I've had many questions about the 12-day war and the so-called imminent threat. What was it and why were those decisions made? We're in it now. We have to win. It's not a good sign when countries rely on the U.S. for both national and economic security, with the Navy protecting key trade and oil routes through the Straits, Red Sea. These questions need answers. Now that Kent has put this out, it's not going away. It's going to be serious. Right, Steve?
The way, but when they owe their economic security, goods and services, products and oil that go through others have to be answered. And for a guy like Joe Kent to put
grift away, buddy. I mean, once you see it, guys, you can't unsee it. It's all over the place. But the good news is there's good people out there who are seeing through it. And one of those, of all people, is Asmongold, the biggest streamer on the internet. This guy has a bigger audience than Tucker, Candace combined. He's a gamer that's commanding the respect and the viewership of the young and the 20-somethings and the brosphere. And he's one of those gifts from God because he came out of nowhere, not expected to be political. And this guy sees what's going on. Listen to how he broke it down today as he saw this.
I don't get it, man. It drives me crazy to see this. So anyway, I think obviously, I think he's totally wrong about this. I think that this goes against everything that he had said literally for years following this. And I think that it makes no sense that you want to get rid of you think Iran's trying to make a nuclear weapon. You think Hamas are terrorists. You think that they would commit a genocide if they could. You think that, you know, Islamism is a threat to Western civilization. You think all this stuff, but you don't think that we should stop it at the source. That's really confusing to me. It is. That's extremely fucking confusing.
Yes, it is.
I don't get it.
Yes, it is. Wow. So the guy who played video games for a living, he's the one who has more political smarts, more horse sense, more street smarts than the people who do this for a living, grifting everywhere. Why is Asmongold seeing exactly what I saw, and yet all these other people who do this for a living, who have real sources, don't bring up any of this? Act like none of it ever happened. I mean, my God, guys, it's unbelievable what we're seeing right now. But again, for those willing to do the work, for those who are actually paying attention, it's not that hard to see. As when you put out this letter and you call out the President of the United States and you declare him controlled by Israel and that he's betrayed his America First agenda, when you make that accusation and then the next day you're doing the circuit, man, I got to tell you, there's just, in my opinion, there's no other way to look at this. So you guys tell me what you think in the comments, but I got to say, this doesn't pass a sniff test for me. So, okay, before I get on to the next stuff, because I do have more we're going to go through. Before I go on to it, though, guys, let me get into the chat. Let me say, hey, let me see what some of these comments and questions are. By the way, if you're watching for the first time, please like and subscribe, guys. Appreciate this, the help on the channel. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. And just so you know, if you're new here, I love the chat. I try to catch up with it as much as I can. Comments, always welcome. Questions, welcome. Just no trolling. And everything else is gravy, baby. Jerry says that Asmongold had a video today about the fraud in California. Nick Shirley. Oh, he's been doing a great job covering a lot of this stuff. Been doing really well. Don't Stop says, now I know Mike Flynn was bad all along. Thank you for showing people these colors. Which Don't Stop. What would you say about Flynn? What was it that tipped you off? Krypton asks, who's the presidential nominee of this group? Which group are you talking about? Were you asking about the one with Candace and all of them? Oh, God, hopefully none of them. Pam Hayes says, famous line from Moby Dick, from hell's heart I stab at thee. Sounds like Jeff. It sounds like Kent. I completely agree with you. Posterum says, Max Blumenthal's father worked for the Clintons. He still has close ties to the Clintons. They love Blumenthal. Oh, yeah, that's all you need to know, right? If you're close to the Clintons and you didn't get suicided, you got to be bad. JD99er says, people have been stabbing Trump in the back for the past 10 years. Look at Bannon plotting with Epstein. Absolutely. I covered it for about 10 hours of content going through Bannon's stuff in the Epstein files. Pam says he's a tidier version of a sleeper cell. We should not be surprised by the deep state using him. Don't Stop says, did Kent know when his wife was going to get unalive? I mean, listen, when he was in the military, I'm not going to speak against anything he did in the military. Okay. But, and also, you know, with his wife, I don't want to go there, but it's clear that in some point in the last couple years, at least, somebody got to him. Absolutely. And, is now, you know, he's using that leverage. Trish says, not only is there no honor in politics fleek and blood sport. I would disagree with you there. I would actually, now I know why you said it. So, but I'm going to disagree a little bit. There is actually honor in politics. There are people who get it, and there are people who stand by their people and fight. And that's what we want to see. Unless I said, again, unless it's the leader absolutely betraying his people, which Trump clearly is not doing that. He's doing what he feels is right, whether we like it or not. But betraying the people, I mean by literally doing something against his duties and powers in the Constitution. Obama stole my voice. CR said, well, Trump said himself, I want to do what's right. Even if he has leverage in another election, he doesn't care about winning. He wants to do the right thing, and that's worth more than gold. Hallelujah. Amen to that. IRGC says Nano Cork says hasn't updated his military equipment since they overthrew the Pahlavi dynasty in 79. Could have been prevented by a Second Amendment. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to talk about Iran, we might as well get into it, right, guys? I do have stuff on Iran next. Don't Stop says when Flynn was in Trump's first term, the whole long court. Well, yeah, there's definitely some weird stuff about Flynn. And his son came out in major defense of Kent today. And again, I got to tell you, I don't trust Mike Flynn. I got to say that. So Pam says a case we've laid out is unassailable. Thank you, Pam. I try my best. As always, guys, listen, I know I get stuff wrong, and I will. Do you know, I mean, how much PSYOP crap is out there? How much we have to parse through every day just to get to the truth? Thank God for X, which makes it so much easier, but it's still there. And every day it's just nonstop information, misinformation, psyops, parsing through to find truth. It's so much. So I will get stuff wrong. I absolutely will get stuff wrong. And you guys are free to call me out when I do. And I will always admit it when it's proven to me. But I got to say, most of the time I'm not. And the reason is because I bring the receipts. I don't form opinions without receipts. I always bring them to you guys. That is why this screen is up in the background, so I can show you guys exactly how I get to where I'm at. And the Kent stuff, I got to tell you, was so overwhelming. There was so much of it. The case became unassailable to me. And so I would hope that you feel the same way, and I'm glad you did. So thank you for that. Don't Stop says, I don't believe there's 20 righteous people in the whole Congress and Senate. No, I think there's more than that, especially in the House. Yeah. In the Senate? Yeah, definitely not. But I think between the two of them, you could find it. I do. I don't have time to go through them all, but okay. Let's get into where we're at in Iran, because this is where the tip of the spear is. This is where the battle is. That is the reason they're running all these psyops. This is the reason all the influencers are coming out so hot and heavy against Trump. This is the reason City of London is deploying all its assets to confuse the people and freak us out and get us to destroy our own movement. It's Iran, because they need this. They cannot lose this. They know it's their Gettysburg. They lose this battle, all Trump has to do is stay on offense afterwards, and we clear them out. So they're going all out. Well, let's actually what's happening versus what's being told. Hours ago, U.S. forces, this is from CENTCOM, successfully employed multiple 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions on hardened Iranian missile sites along Iran's coastline near the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian anti-ship cruise missiles in these sites pose a risk to international shipping in the Strait. They're clearing out the Strait. And everybody's been telling us it can't be done, or it's going to take forever. This is where we're going to get stuck. You can't do it with boots on the ground. I have a feeling they're going to be proven wrong. But so this is going on today. The bombing continues, and we are upping the ante, friends. Now, Tom Luongo shared this today. This article, he says, read it carefully, especially who published it. Qatar scene, here's why. Every aspect of Iran's ability to project regional power is being successfully degraded. This came from Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera, by a writer in Qatar. This, my friends, they are close. This is supposed to be where the pro-Iran propaganda is. And for Al Jazeera to actually share that U.S.-Israel is working against Iran and every aspect of Iran's ability to project regional power is successfully degraded, my friends, That's not going in the American papers. And there's a reason for that. They don't want us to know that. If it was in the American papers, we could wonder, are they telling us the truth? Or they have a motive here? Because they always have a motive. But when it's overseas like this, they're not gaining anything from this story. And that just tells you kind of everything you need to know. Now, Trump today is he's clearly using this situation to leverage us for some big moves coming up. And let me play this clip.
Are you rethinking the United States relationship with NATO possibly getting out?
Well, I'm disappointed in NATO that we spend trillions of dollars on NATO. Think of it, trillions over the years, many trillions of dollars. It's one of the reasons we have deficits and we help other countries. And when they don't help us, I mean, it's certainly something that we should think about. I don't need Congress for that decision. As you probably know, I can make that decision myself. I'd work with some very smart people. And I'd always deal with Congress anyway, but I don't need Congress for that decision. But, you know, when you say rethink, I have nothing currently in mind, but I will say that I'm not exactly thrilled when we help them with Ukraine. Look, Ukraine would have been over in one day if we didn't help. Frankly, Ukraine would have been over in the first day. They had the best equipment in the world. It was our equipment, given by Sleepy Joe Biden. No charge, no charge. Hundreds of billions of dollars of the best equipment in the world, no charge. I will say that I'm not happy about it.
You hear what Trump said there? Not only did he just put NATO on blast, but he also said that he doesn't need Congress, which I thought he did. I'll be honest with you. I think I said that the other night. So I'll have to double check on that one. But if he doesn't need Congress and he can just pull out NATO, that's getting very interesting. Because NATO right now, Trump is clearly pissed off at them that they're showing they have no desire to help. And listen, Trump probably knew this. Because NATO is an arm of City of London. It's their army. We provided the army for City of London. While they never thought this would end for them in their arrogance. They stole from us. They robbed our middle class. They used our money to enrich themselves. They took over our financial markets, and they used our military for their purposes. The U.S. military, they took us over. This is why all these countries, UK, Germany, France, you name it, why they all just let their militaries get down to basically nothing. Kept their intelligence agencies, especially in the UK, as that's how they run the ship. But no, NATO, which basically was the United States military, has been their army. But the problem is they never thought this would happen. They'd get this far, and they didn't rebuild. They can't rebuild. They're broke. You think our debt situation's bad? Go look at the Eurozone. It's much worse, their financial situation. So they have that all going on. They can't rebuild their military. If we end NATO, guys, they don't have a military anymore. They do have militaries, but they're pathetic. They're weak. You could take the entire Eurozone, all of their militaries, put them together into one, and they wouldn't be half as big as our military. That's a problem. And they know it. But they can't show up for this one because this one is the war that's hurting them bad. Just wait till I show you some on that. But look who is showing up for us. It looks like the Emiratis are going to go the distance with U.S. and Israel, UAE, United Arab Emirates, also Saudis, Qataris. Guys, the countries we used to consider are our enemies, or at the very least, are people we want to keep at an arm's length away. We couldn't trust them, even though we might have to do business with them, especially with the Saudis. They're now becoming our real allies. Trump is reshaping the world by exposing those who stole from us, took advantage of us for all these years, our real enemy, which is City of London, Eurozone, European Union, UN, you name it. Trump's exposing all that and showing us that these countries that have been kept under, that were pushed out, are actually the true loyal ones we can trust. This is crazy. See, when Trump went there last year to the Middle East and after the Abraham Accords were signed, and all these people are just cheering him on, like ushering him in like a king, it's because he's setting these countries free. He's helping them get free economically. He's getting City of London out of them. And as a result, they're thankful that they all are becoming sovereign again. And that's starting to pay dividends. And Trump's building a new coalition. And that's why he created the Board of Peace. We're seeing this now. And these countries are actually showing up, which is also interesting. Ask yourself why, when Iran got attacked, it just started attacking all those other countries as well. Didn't make sense. Unless you look at Iran as an extension of City of London, and you look at all those countries as an extension of this sovereign alliance that Trump's building. It looks much different that way. Keir Starmer today. Yeah, you think Trump doesn't know what he's doing? Keir Starmer, this is a 5-minute. I'm not going to play it, but this is all that matters. I made it really clear we will not join the offensive strikes against Iran. What did I tell you guys the other night? The first war that they found that they didn't like, that UK didn't like us in, the first one, how wild is that? It's just hilarious. You can't make this stuff up. It's so stinking ridiculous. It's just absolutely crazy. But again, Keir Starmer continues to show who he really is, who these people really are. We've taken out or gone into what was supposed to be the big bad in the world after China, numero uno, Russia, numero dos, and then Iran. Those were supposed to be the three scariest nations in the world that could be enemies of NATO, the U.S., European Union. We've taken on one of these big bads. We're completely obliterating them, and none of them are showing up to help. Yeah, that tells you all you need to know. What stopped? Did my live stop? Looks all right. Okay, let's keep going. Here's Trump calling out NATO in a major statement here. United States has been informed by most of our NATO allies, in quotes. They don't want to get involved with our military operation against the terrorist regime of Iran in the Middle East. This despite the fact that almost every country strongly agreed with what we're doing, and that Iran cannot in any way, shape, or form be allowed to have a nuke. I'm not surprised by their action, however, because I always consider NATO, this is the key here, always consider NATO, where we spend hundreds of billions of dollars per year protecting these same countries, to be a one-way street. We will protect them, but they will do nothing for us. He's exposing them. This war is exposing them. This war is so much more than just going to Iran. There's so much more going on here. Trump is playing 4D chess. He really is. In a time of need, fortunately, we have decimated Iran's military. Their navy's gone, air force gone, anti-aircraft and radar is gone. Perhaps most importantly, their leaders at virtually every level are gone, never to threaten us or the world ever again. Because of the fact we've had such military success, we no longer need or desire the NATO countries' assistance. We never did. Likewise, Japan, Australia, or South Korea. Do you hear this, though? We no longer need or desire their assistance. Guys, that's a shot across the bow. That's telling NATO and everybody else paying attention, we don't need these people, and I'm calling it. I'm starting the process. See, he's seeding it out there to wake up the regular people, to show the normies, the people who don't pay as much attention. He's calling it out there. So more and more people are like, what the heck? Why do we need NATO? What are we there for? Remember, Trump's base is 90% supporting him in this. 90%. So any of those who are on the fence about NATO, he's turning them real quick. He's turning them real quick with this. We're getting closer and closer to being able to get out of NATO. And amidst all this, the PSYOP continues. Today, I saw this. So Trump operating in Iran, pulling off far more than most people think. You can see it. I keep showing you guys. I mean, it all makes sense. This is actually the war against City of London and its holdings, its connections. He's tearing that apart. But the PSYOPs keep going up. And just to show you guys, remember, I've been making fun of the people saying there's the missiles. Well, this came from a major account today. The died suddenly account, which usually just covers COVID, people from COVID dying from the vaccine, had to bust this out today. And I got to just show you guys what I'm talking about when I say there's all this talk of super secret talk about what I coming at from Iran. But they say the investigators that died suddenly have received a very concerning piece of intel we want to share with our followers regarding the war in Iran. This same source giving us intel we have shared has never once been wrong. Well, there's a tell right there. People are never wrong. That's just doesn't happen. America has only 1 week of missiles left to defend our allies. Does anybody actually believe that? Does anybody actually believe that next week, Tuesday next week, we're going to be out of missiles helping the other people in the Middle East? Anybody believe that? Nukes, invasion, war with Russia on the table. Well, this tells me they absolutely don't know what they're talking about. We have no desire. Putin and Trump do not want to go to war with each other. But guys, this is a massive account, almost 1 million followers. Joe Kent resigned for a reason. He knows the Iran war is going poorly. Was started by Israel lying and manipulating Trump. These guys just outed themselves. It's like, you can't. And I like this account. They've done great work until this. How far does it go? How widespread is it? Joe Kent refuses to lie about those facts publicly. I have spoken to several national security sources. Trust me, bro. Trust me. Can't name them, but trust me, bro. This is a summary of what they've told me. America's 1 week from exhausting our supply of interceptors, without which there's no effective means of stopping incoming missiles and drones. Iran knows this and has intentionally kept back their biggest, most advanced deadly cruise missiles. Does anybody believe this? Ask this. Why would any country in history, especially a proud country like Iran, just be like, we're being attacked. They are taking out our Air Force, our Navy. They're taking out our missile launchers. They're taking out everything, our nuke sites. They have launched a full-on attack. They took out our leader and his successor and 40 other leaders, and they keep taking out our military leaders. But we're going to wait. We're going to wait to unleash our big missile. We're just going to wait. Does anybody believe that? That they're just waiting for some red line to be crossed, hasn't been crossed? That they would just accept this drubbing they're taking by the most powerful country in the world? There's no logic to this, guys. There's no logic to this at all. Attempts by the U.S. to destroy those missile sites have failed, and a good portion remain operational. Right? You know who's been pushing this narrative? Scott Ritter, the pedophile. He's been pushing this narrative. If America can't protect our allies, they'll sue for peace without us, and without protection, Israel will suffer massive casualties. Stockpile is dangerously low from the missiles used to defend since October 7th in the war in Ukraine. Dude, October 7th was over 2 years ago. Well, almost 2 years ago. War in Ukraine, been going on for a while. You really think we just haven't made anything new since that? The current supreme leader of Iran, Mojtaba Khomeini, the gay guy who lost his legs in a coma, survived the decapitation strike and followed, now successfully fled to Russia, where the U.S. is weighing committing another act of war by killing him in Moscow. Seriously, does anybody believe this nonsense? This is so crazy. AI videos or not, Iran will never surrender if they find out they killed or gravely injured the great Satan's puppet master. This is insanely crazy posts, guys, from a major account. And just to show you, oh, look, there's Rich Barris saying, oh, I know this stuff's true. Trust me, bro. Dude, this is so crazy. And look, if I'm wrong, if it turns out next week we lose the Iran war, they launch their supersonic, hypersonic rocket fuel missile that's just going to blow us all out of the water, then I'll say, oh my God, I was wrong. I'll quit my show. I mean, everything you guys need to see, because I was so wrong. But I feel pretty good about my bet and all this, because I've been hearing this now for 2 weeks. I've been hearing this for 2 weeks that this is coming, and from no trustworthy sources at all. But again, this is so crazy that this stuff's getting out there. Now, this account has completely put itself on the line now, because if they're wrong about this, right here, over the course of 4 years, the same source gave us intel we've shared has never once been wrong. Okay, so now, if you're wrong about this, we all know your source is BS and you guys are BS. And that's another one down. So, I mean, guys, the exposure's on. They're putting up. We're at the point now where these accounts are putting out checks they can't cash. And if they bounce, they are losing. Like, nobody's going to forgive them for this one. So they're either right or they're completely wrong, but they're doing it anyways to make us all freak out. Isn't it interesting that this major account that most MAGA people trust, I was one of them. I've trusted them. I liked a lot of their stuff. Isn't it interesting that they launched this the same day Joe Kent does his resignation letter? The timing, guys, the timing tells you so much. This is wild. So this is put up or shut up time. And trust me, I'm going to remember what Rich Barris says down here too, because I already don't trust him. But this is the kind of stuff you put this on, you go on the line on this stuff, there's no coming back. Because you're basically telling us that if Trump keeps doing what he's doing, Iran is going to inflict massive damages on us. And if it's true, then Trump is at fault because he had this information and he did it anyways. That would totally fracture MAGA. And the midterms, forget about it. Trump's going to become a lame duck because he's going to lose so much support. That, my friends, is all out. They are going all out. Because they are, and the only reason you do this, if you're wrong, is to scare the hell out of people to turn against Trump. And then they're going to try to declare victory over something small, or they're going to say, well, they made this decision instead to try to back out of it. But we can't let them do that, because that's most likely what's going to happen. Because Trump's track record is way better than these people's track record. And we can see what Trump's doing right now. And if we're wrong, we're wrong. They'll say, whoops. But based on who's giving this information, who's agreeing on it, the Joe Gentz stuff, his background, how he's jumping on the influencer trail now, I feel really good about saying that I don't trust any of this crap. I really feel good about saying that this isn't going to happen. But, it's not for their lack of trying. Now, the PSYOP is getting so bad that we're having some people who are actually on the good side of things starting to pick up on it. Now, I got to say, It sucks a little bit sometimes to have been first and know that Dom, who I like Dom, he's got good stuff, 1.6 million followers. These people had so much more followers than me, have so much more on the line. Even though I don't think they're bad, it tells you that weight they carry of having all these followers because they don't want to be wrong. So they wait until they're absolutely sure instead of taking risks like I do as soon as I see stuff and tell you guys. But Dom comes out and he says there's a coordinated attack on MAGA to pull voters away from the same person that changed everything forever, Trump. They are trying to make us forget how we got here and where we're going. They're successfully turning you against Trump, which is true to some extent. It's not a lot, not spreading as much as they think it is, but he's calling it out, and I'm grateful for that. But that's how bad it's getting, that everybody's like, we can't stay silent anymore. We got to pick sides, which I've been saying for months. But I'm glad everybody's catching up. Look at this. They're recirculating MAGA's dead phrase from November. Remember in November, I did a PSYOP video about how we're seeing one of the biggest PSYOPs I've ever seen. Yeah, that was November. Well, here it is again. It's going around. MAGA's dead. They're going to keep running it back. Carrie Prejean, MAGA's dead, jumping on with Piers Morgan. MAGA's completely 100% utterly dead. I mean, it's going. You guys want to see here are all the accounts. There's Ian Carroll. Yep, keep spreading it. Keep spreading it. Meanwhile, here's the truth. And you know what? I like Harry. Harry, tell us the truth, Harry. Tell us what the polls are saying, Harry.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
MAGA GOP on the U.S. military action in Iran. Look at this. Nearly 9 in 10,
He's so
89% approve of the U.S. military action in Iran. That is the MAGA GOP base. Just 9% disapprove of it. This is tremendously popular among the Republican base. And of course, Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, overseeing the effort. It seems to me that a lot of people are taking that into account, including President.
89% approval among his base. So if it's not MAGA who's dead, it's the MAGA grift is dying because they're going all out now. And so they have to keep lying and pushing it, and they're exposing themselves more every day. It's starting to fall apart on them. But what they're going to do, they're going to keep pushing it harder and harder and get more extreme in their attacks. Because, guys, they've chosen their sides now. We cannot allow these people back in. Because once the Iran situation goes well, they're going to pick up a new grift. But in between trying to sell us some more fear porn and how Trump's failing, how coming up with another angle, in between that, they're going to try to come back in. Oh, look what Trump did. It was masterful and how he decided to do this. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Bannon, Alex Jones, Rich Barris, all these guys. Candace won't. She's all out. Tucker will. Tucker will have something, but they're all going to try. We can't let them back. We cannot let them back because this is not organic people having disagreements in honor. This is full on sharing the same narrative, just getting it out there. It's getting crazier and crazier. Just a reminder that 4 months ago, Candace Owens told us she was contacted by the high-ranking member of the French government. So just remember that was 4 months ago. Let all be revealed, and then nothing was revealed after this. So we've just moved on. So just a good reminder of some of these grifts, guys. Matt Gaetz. I like Matt Gaetz. This one, I'm not going to say he's a full-on grifter yet, but Gaetz, this isn't looking good, Gaetz. Tucker is beloved by Republican voters, and then he shares a Polymarket paid partnership ad. Get that money, Gaetz. Get that money, Matt. Everybody's like, Matt would have been so much better than Pam Bondi. Would he have? or is Trump once again know more than we do? I don't know. Praying Medic shared this today, and I thought it was just a great post. But in response to Jordan Sather talking about disclosure we've gotten over the last few years of what, learning what's going on behind the scenes. He writes, most of the important disclosures have already happened except for ET UFOs could be years away if ever. Israel Groyper split was going to happen eventually. I'm mostly ignoring it. Trump united the world against the cabal. He's got 3 years left. Cabal wants their world back. That's key right there. Foundations are being laid now to blow up what he built. Useful idiots are being weaponized. The smartest people see it, guys. The need for discernment has never been more critical, and sadly it may be at an all-time low, which is why I do my show, why people like this are out there, because the PSYOPs are going to new levels, and it's all assets deployed, so it's harder than ever to get through it all. On the plus side, Trump is an all-star cabinet that's getting shit done in record time. I'm very optimistic about the future. Me too, Dave. Me too. 100%. All right. Speaking of optimistic about the future, got one more section I'm gonna share in a minute. But before I get to that, guys, let me get back into the chat for a minute. Say hey to you guys. Please, guys, let me take a second to ask you to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. That really helps the channel grow. If you like, subscribe, share. If you're on X, if you hit that repost. And if you want to support the channel, go into the description, get a free month of Patreon. That's my gift to you. You can see all the extra content I do and join in the Discord group, which goes 24/7 with conversations. And if you like it, if you like the community, then you can stay for only $5 a month. That's all I ask to support the channel if you want to be a part of it. And I don't ask for your money for free because, you guys deserve some for your money. So that's why I do extra members lives, podcasts, and the Discord for that $5 a month. And I believe it's well worth it. So if you want to support the channel, you can do that. Let's see here. People are on the fence against Gates. A lot of people, I like Gates. I like when he talks. I like what he says. But the truth is he did quit on us. Okay. Trump nominated him to be attorney general. He left after only 4 days, and then he quit being in the House. It gave him a way out of being in the House. He just won his seat, and he would have given us another 2 years. Imagine how nice it would have been to have Matt Gaetz, a firebrand, in the House for these 2 years while Trump's doing all this fighting. But he quit on us, and he went over to Newsmax and got a paycheck to sit and talk. Good for him if that's what he wanted, but why run your race? So there's just stuff about Gates that is not necessarily most trustworthy. He did have some ethics violations that were coming up. He was going to be under investigation. He's got some weird stuff in his background. I don't think he was criminal, but I do think I think he liked the ladies a little too much. All that being said, that's not a crime. But Gates is interesting. But I do wonder if he would not have been as good as everybody thinks he would have been, which is always easy to say when he's not there, right? Lisa Eder says, the more successful Trump is, the harder they push its BS. It's all they got to try and control the narrative. 100%. Nano says, as long as the Democrats are crying, Americans are winning. I agree with that. Office of Receipts says, all these people are being played by London. Well, yeah, the PSYOPers, they're being used by London for sure. And it is, as he said right here, the cabal wants their world back. Well, the cabal is City of London and, their alliances. So they are doing everything they can to end this. Don't Stop says, God's still on the throne. Trump's going to dedicate America back to God on May 17th. Satan doesn't want that. I actually really much agree with you. Seth says, I found your channel a week or so ago. I was feeling beat down. Felt like no one was seeing what I was seeing. Thanks for doing this. Man, Seth, listen, those are the compliments that mean the world to me. Everybody who comes on this show or reaches out to me and just says, I've helped them in any way, that means the world to me. My entire point of doing this show is to help people see what I'm seeing. I'm not necessarily trying to convince you because most people can't be convinced, but I am going to show you, and I have strong opinions, and I will back those up. But it's also to do it all through a positive light because I am a Christian. I love Jesus Christ. I believe, and I studied for 25 years the Bible. I was in ministry for 10 plus years. And Listen, I don't believe you can be influential in a good way. I don't believe you can fight without hope. And you can't have faith without hope. So it's like it's all worthless if you're black-pilled. I mean, it's not worthless, but for your own soul, it's worthless. People check out when they're black-pilled. They don't fight. They don't get anything done, which is why they're always trying to black-pill us. They're always trying to discourage us. But I will always do my news, my show through the lens of hope. I'm very hopeful about the future. I believe the best is coming. I believe a golden age is upon us. I believe America's going to see its best days. I believe we have amazing things ahead of us. But we're in the fight right now. We're in the war right now. And so we got to get through it. But thank you, Seth, for sharing that, and everybody else who's ever reached out to me similarly. Thank you guys for telling me, because, it's hard to do this every night sometimes. Sometimes I'm discouraged. Sometimes, I have emotions too. Sometimes it's a lot, weighs me down. I get tired. So every time I hear something like what Seth just said, it means the world to me. And it's more than enough for me to keep showing up all over and over and over again. GN says, what a crock. They save their best weapons for what? Their leadership's dead. Their religious figure's gone. I know, it's so stupid. So stupid. Vincent says, amazed we have fought wars for many years, but yes, our ordnance are running low after weeks. Can I buy a bridge? I love it. Pam says, this feels like America when I was a kid. Land of the free, home of the brave. People love the American flex over the corrupt world leaders. Amen. Absolutely. So good. Sounds like somebody died suddenly. Office receipt says, I heard Kent was leaking intel to Tucker, got caught, been left out of intel, and was going to be... Yep, we covered that. Pan looks like we started to grow. So I have had a very good month. Yeah, a very good month for my channel. So something's working. MH says, what's worse than being wrong? Being wrong and convinced you're right. Have to be open-minded and weigh the fact. 100%. Absolutely. Completely agree. With God, all things are possible. Yep. All right. Got a couple more things that going to cover here, guys. Receipt says, whole thing's ridiculous. We have two choices. Either Trump's actually fighting for America or win, or he's compromising. We're screwed. Yeah, exactly. This is all in time, guys. It's all in time. I'm thoroughly convinced God gave us a miracle in November of 2024 when Trump won. And that miracle was, here you guys go. You've been praying. You've been fighting, those of you who haven't given up. And I'm giving you your country back if you'll have it. And that's the key right there. If you'll have it. In other words, are you willing to fight for it? It's not just Trump. Trump's the head. He's our leader. But we have to see it through with him. And that's it. We don't have another choice. Who else is out there? Like I've always said, God will always give you more chances. So we're not screwed forever, but our generation's screwed. And this is how God works. He works in cycles. The trajectory of history is improvement, but in that improvement over the long course of history, there are dips. There are hard times, but then we grow out of them. And the question is how long do you stay in them? That's the real question. It's not whether or not you'll have hard times. It's how long will you stay in them? And we have a chance right now to give our kids and our grandkids a better life than we had. What if we screw this up, if we don't take the miracle God gave us, if we reject it by not fighting, God will give another chance, but it won't be for another generation. And so we're looking at 20 to 40 years of going backwards again before another real chance arises. And then there's an amount of two. So that's how it goes. And guys, so I'm a fighter. I will be here every night I can. I don't know what else to do. I have to fight for my family first. And I do that by working every day and supporting them and being there for them. But the next thing I fight for is my country. And since all I have is this time, I do it by showing up at night and just trying to get truth out in the world. and supporting our miracle, which I believe came in the form of Donald Trump, of a man. So my trust is in God first, but God chose Trump, so I'm gonna trust Trump, and that's how I look at it. And so yeah, that's what I believe. So if you agree with that, hit that like, and if you're new, hit that subscribe. I appreciate you guys. All right, let's get to the last segment here, which I think there is a lot of hope in this segment. So, Save America Act today was advanced. Now, this did not pass. They need 60 votes to pass it. However, it was a good thing because it shows that we have the votes without the filibuster. 51-49. We lost Tillis, who didn't even show up to vote, and Murkowski, who bailed on us. But this also shows we could lose a vote and still J.D. Vance could break the tie. Now, the other thing this did is open up debate. All right, this opens up debate now, so they can all be put on blast, and they are actually going to officially start fighting to pass this. This is a good thing, because even if it doesn't pass, this is going to get stuff in front of the people. There's more likelihood of it passing every day as the people get more and more engaged on this. Trump fights more. And this is also going to bring up a lot of election debate, which is very good. Here's the traitors. Murkowski voted against it, and Tillis didn't even bother to show up. Again, both of these are not running for re-election again, so they don't care. They can show their true colors. Absolutely disgusting, and we won't miss them. Now, Ted Cruz, who I don't give a lot of credit to because he usually doesn't deserve it.
The Democrats are lined up in this chamber.
Whoops. It's not letting me.
Are lined up in this chamber.
Pause it for some reason.
The Democrats are lined up in this chamber because they want our elections to be insecure. They want voter fraud to be rampant and to be easy. Ask yourself, do the American people have a difficult time buying a beer? Do they have a difficult time getting into an R-rated movie? Do they have a difficult time getting on an airplane? Well, yes, because the Democrats have refuses to fund the TSA, and so there are long lines right now. But the lack of a photo ID is not an impediment that stops people from flying.
It's pretty good, Ted. You know, I don't like Ted Cruz. He's done enough dumb stuff. He's betrayed Trump at times. There's plenty I don't like about Ted Cruz. But I will say, the man's gifted when he wants to debate and make an argument. And so I enjoyed seeing that right there. John Solomon has been all over this, that there's a lot of election stuff about to come out. And here's the latest, is that they've gotten their hands on intercepted intelligence shows Ukrainian officials trying to help Biden win in 2024. Excuse me. Using our tax dollars. Excuse me. Woo! Don't know where that came from. But Solomon's getting ready to drop this. Listen.
There are scores of raw intelligence reports that show Chinese meddling in the American election. And there's one report raising concern that Ukraine was engaged in a plot to do something bad in the 2024 election to help Joe Biden. I want to repeat that. There is intercepted intelligence that the Trump administration has had for many, many months, in which it is suggested by Ukrainian officials that they're going to try to help Joe Biden win the election using American taxpayer money.
Do you guys understand, like, what a big deal it's going to be if we win this Iran war and basically send City of London back decades? And then on top of that, Trump gets the SAVE Act passed or some other major election reform because of all this exposure. You understand what a huge deal that's going to be? Like, we have so much time till the midterms. If that all happens, it's going to change everything, because also the economy will be booming even more because of the flow of oil once this Iran thing gets settled. So, guys, there's a lot of hope right now. A lot of good stuff happening. If you're not getting sucked in by the psyops, including this guy has been really good. He was really on top of the 2024 election. He currently still has the Senate. His Senate forecast is at 53 for the Republicans. So the House is really what's in play. But this guy, like I said, he's been excellent, and he's already seeing the Senate still being held for Republicans as of right now, which we're kind of at our worst point right now. There's nothing but upside for Republicans, honestly, going from here. So if we're already looked to hold the Senate, guys, I think we could easily get the House. And finally, here's the latest poll. It just, even though Republicans went down 1, Democrats went down 2 in the generic ballot, and it's only a 2-point race. And this, my friends, is from the Economist YouGov, which is a very left-leaning poll. So the midterms are much closer than anybody's making it out to be, because Democrats are so utterly pathetic, and because this Iran war is actually much more popular than the grifters would have you know. So you wonder why they're upping their attacks. You wonder why the PSYOP is going to new levels. It's because of this. Because the people, they're not winning over the hearts and minds of the people like they hoped they would. It's looking worse for them by the day, and Trump is actually he's just winning. And so don't get locked into the bubble. Don't get locked into what the influencers are saying. The regular people mostly like what's going on. So lots of good stuff going on. Okay, so all right, let me get into the chat before I leave tonight. Check out your guys' comments and questions to the best of my ability, answer them, and then we'll call tonight. It's very late. Thank you guys for watching tonight. If you're going to check out, please, and thank you, hit that like, hit that subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Think you about maybe joining the membership if you would, support the channel. But anyways, love you guys. Appreciate you so much. Let's look at what's in here. I saw one interesting question. Where'd it go? Says God chooses flawed people to work through. He absolutely does. Well, I guess he's a guy. Hope that doesn't mean I'm lying about something. David asked, do I think Tucker is a real Christian? If so, is it possible he really thinks Trump's making a mistake? There's an abundant black pill ecosystem. Let me say this. It's not for me to judge somebody's faith. That's between them and God. What I can tell you is there's lots of people who are actually Christians who've given themselves to Jesus, but then they live selfish lives, or they don't completely surrender their lives to him in the way that you would expect that most Christians would do. So I can't say for Tucker. What I can say about Tucker is that whatever he's doing right now, it's for selfish reasons. He's too smart. He's too connected to actually believe the nonsense he spews. That's just a fact. So he's either doing it for selfish reasons or because he's been bought and paid for or under threat or something. I don't know, but I can't speak to his faith. I really can't. But I don't think he actually truly believes in his heart Trump's making mistakes. I think he's running cover for something. I really do. There's something weird about the fact Mr. T pumps up dorks, method of madness. Yeah. Trish says, I've always been a fan of Ted Cruz. I think his intentions are in the right place. He wants the best for the American people. You know what? I hope you're right. I really do, Trish. I've seen too much to believe that, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's good to still believe in people, and I'd love to be wrong on that one. Let me tell you that. Lisa had her daughter Charlie Kirk register to vote and vote in the midterms by Victor Davis Hans. I completely agree with that. Absolutely. All Trump has to do is rally for a couple weeks. That would definitely help for sure. Yeah, 100%. Skarmer's a fake. That is definitely true. That is absolutely true. Anyways, guys. All right. I'm going to head out. I got to get to bed. I got a long day tomorrow. So tomorrow, I will not be having my regular live because tomorrow I'm going to have Tom Luongo, the one and only. I'm going to be interviewing Tom, but I'm going to be doing it as a standalone video. So I'm sorry I won't be here for the live tomorrow night to engage with you guys, but you're going to get a great show. I'm going to be interviewing him earlier in the day and posting it tomorrow night. So look for that tomorrow. I'm very excited to have Tom. He's way more knowledgeable than me on most of this stuff. So I cannot wait to hear how he breaks it down. But that'll be tomorrow night. And then I will be back on my regular live Thursday night. So God bless you guys. I hope you have a great night. Let's get some rest and let's pray before we get out of here. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless all these people here. Father, we do ask for discernment and in navigating all the insanity in the world right now. And help us see through, God, narratives, help us see through what the enemy's trying to poison our minds with. And God, just help us know that no matter what, there's always going to be hope, and you're always where there's hope. So if we don't feel hope coming from something, it's most likely a lie. And so, God, we just thank you for that first part of discernment. That's just an hard, fast rule. Father, we pray for President Trump and his team, that you'd protect them, give them wisdom and boldness, God, in all situations. And Lord, that you would bring prosperity, peace, and justice back to our country in ways, in bigger, better ways than we've ever seen. We pray this in Jesus' name. And also grant us the perseverance to get through whatever we got to get through to get to the other side. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, bless you guys. Have a blessed night. Thank you for watching. And oh, did my mic cut out? All right, I'll see you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Good night.
Headlines screaming like a siren at night. Red and blue shouting, nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchstick